Game of the week right now, 3:30 CBS. We got Alabama at home taking on Tennessee. This is the rematch of the classic game from last year where you had Tennessee winning at home against Bama. You know, goalposts come down, they go get dropped in the river, all that kind of stuff. Hey, y'all are the Bama fans. I'm gonna let y'all start off on this. One of y'all can take it from the jump. Y'all go right here.
All right, so let's see here. Man, I'm still extremely confused about Alabama. Milroe showed me a lot of really good things in the first half of that game last week. Then you turn around in the second half. I don't know if it was adjustments. I mentioned adjustments when we were talking about Arkansas. I don't know if it was the job that Sam Pittman did making adjustments, or whether Bama just forgot how to catch footballs, or I don't know. This team is still a top 10 team. The fact that Bama, they're still one of the most talented teams in the country. You line them up against a lot of teams in the top 10 right now. They can win a lot of these games. It just kind of depends on what Bama team shows up. The problem that Tennessee's got is the fact that they won last year. Nick Saban is typically a fantastic coach in revenge games. The game to me is really a toss-up. My mind is telling me that Bama's luck is going to run out on Saturday. But I really can't say that because I don't believe in Joe Milton. I don't necessarily believe in Tennessee. The only thing Tennessee really has is a really strong running game. And that's what Bama does really well, is stop the run. If they make Joe Milton throw the football, I think Bama's got a great chance to win this game and win it kind of big. Same thing, Tennessee's game plan is going to be, let's make Jalen Milroe throw the football. It's going to be a classic. It's going to be a really good game. I'm looking for Alabama and Tennessee to have problems running the football. Whichever quarterback plays the best and limits turnovers, that's the quarterback of the winning team for this game. Right now, you put a gun in my head, I'm picking Tennessee to win the game. Picking Tennessee to win the game. Very close game. It may come down to a kick, right? But it's gonna be a kick for Tennessee to win the game, man. I'm losing faith in the Tide every single week. I'm still gonna roll with y'all. You're my dogs, but I don't think you got enough to get it done this weekend. The chants are gonna be coming. Time for Nick Saban to go. The dynasty is finally over. Oh my God, I can't. It's gonna kill me to have to listen to this next week if my prediction actually comes true. But I don't think they have enough. They can't keep on playing good one half, not good the next half. Protect the ball on this drive, get the ball away on this drive. Ja'Cory Brooks is gonna catch the ball in the first half. Second half, he decides he don't know how to catch it. I'm just confused. I'm really confused. I'm very disappointed. My heart hurts. I can't eat. I'm not sleeping at night, man. But I got Tennessee by 3.
That's all you got to say about that one?
That's it, man. That's it. My feelings are just hurt.
Thing in the perspective for everybody right here. This game right here is going to come down to the offensive line play. I think everything is going to matter about the offensive line play to allow the quarterbacks to play their game. The reason why Arkansas gave Alabama so much trouble is because our left tackle couldn't understand who to hit the block, and there was only one person in front of him. So you got to think that if Jalen Milroe does not get hit as much as he needed to get hit last game, I think that game will be different. And I also think Nick Saban took last week's game as the last opportunity to really see what your team got, was adding different pieces into it. So I think we kind of just saw a rough week for Alabama. And even going into that game last week against Arkansas, Nick Saban said it wasn't the best week of practice for them, and he kind of saw these things to come. That is not going to be the case this week for Alabama, and it has not been the case this week for Alabama watching the media. Alabama is going to be on a revenge tour, and I think that's something that is extremely dangerous for people. If this game was back in Tennessee, I would understand exactly what you're going to say right there, Sean. But to me, for Tennessee to have to come in Alabama, come to Tuscaloosa, put on the performance that they're going to need to do, is not going to happen this week right here. Alabama's defense, for one, is not the same defense from last year. Is not the same defense. Our secondary has proven to be way better than it was last year. No, second thing, Hendon Hooker is not going to be on the field dissecting this Alabama's defense. That's not going to be the case. The reason why I say it's so big on the offensive line is, let's flash back to a year ago. You had Will Anderson, Dallas Turner, Chris Braswell, a huge trio, the cheetah package that came out in this game. You know, we really thought our defensive line was going to be able to penetrate Tennessee's offensive line. That was not the case. Hendon Hooker had all day to throw the ball. I do not think this is going to be the same Alabama defensive line as it was last year. This defensive line has been getting home extremely well, and I think that's going to be something they're going to emphasize this week. I truly believe that, like you said, Sean, Alabama can shut down the run. I truly believe that. So understanding that standpoint right there, it is going to be in Joe Milton's hands to come in Tuscaloosa and win this game. Now, that is the biggest question mark that I think Tennessee's going to have is, can he get it done? We have not seen him do it all year long. So to me, I don't think it's going to change in this week right here. Our secondary has gotten so much better that I think that they're one of the shining points of this defense in the aspects of turning the ball over. It's not just we're going to play secondary and not get completions. They're saying, no, we're going to take a couple of these away from you. And I think that's going to be one of the biggest differences in this game for Alabama's defense. Now, let's flip to the offense. If this game was a field possession game, if this game was something where Alabama had to drive down the field 10 times to go beat Tennessee, I would be in difference with, I'll be right there with you. I'll be like, you know what, I'm confused about this game. I don't know what's going to happen. But to me, I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Nick Saban's going to have all three parts of his team ready to play. So special teams is going to play huge for Bama. Now, how can they mess this up? How can they not win this game? Early turnovers can be an issue. Clock management can be an issue. And penalties. All three of those things can be big issues for Alabama, but I don't see them happening in this game right here. I think they're going to be more prepared for this game than I think it was for the Texas game. And that says a lot about who we are and who the aspect team we could be. So I think Bama's going to walk away with this one. I think it is a 2-touchdown game for Bama, because when I see Tennessee go up against real dog defenses, I don't see their offense be as efficient as possible. But to me, it's going to be about the quarterbacks and offensive line. I really want to see Jalen Milroe have another coming out party, kind of like he did against Texas A&M. I know it wasn't his best overall performance, but if you throw the ball like that and make plays like you did, this game right here is going to be a wash. I think this team has a bad taste in their mouth from last year, that this game has already been marked on their calendar since last year. It's not going to be something I think it's going to be pretty. I think it's going to be a lot of hard-hitting plays, a lot of big explosive plays. But I think Bama can get the overall reins done in this game to win this one by at least 2 touchdowns. To me, this game right here indicates what the SEC championship game is going to look like. Is it going to be Bama in the SEC championship, or is it going to be Tennessee in the SEC championship? I know they're not on the same side of the conference, but this is the type of game that could propel these teams to go finish off their season in a positive way. So reason before everything I just said, I got Bama winning this one by like 35 to like 21. I really think Bama has the overall keys to get this one done this year, and I think they have the edge on their back to get it done this year. Last year in Tennessee, we saw one of the most anomaly plays. I think if Bryce Young wasn't on that team, that game would have been looking like a wash. But this year's defense, this year's offense is totally different. It can be a plus and it can be a negative. But I think Nick Saban's going to have his troops ready to go in this game. That's going to be the difference maker in this one. What you think, fam?
I'll tell you what, I've been looking at this game ever since Sunday and looking at this is probably one of my most researched games that I've had this season, outside of a lot of South Carolina games. And from what I'm going to start with Tennessee. Tennessee has established right now that their rushing game is elite. They have one of the best rushing attacks in the country right now. You put up 232 rushing yards last week against A&M. A&M is a top 10 run defense. They are, I think it was, the stat was 4th or 3rd in the conference in rush defense, and you did that to them. Now, the downside of that is that last week you ran for that much, and you still on offense only really produce 13 points on offense. Outside of that, the punt return, you really kind of struggled on offense getting down up and down the field. You kind of went up and down the field, but you didn't really get points out of it. Joe Milton only had 100 yards passing last week, and only one touchdown, one interception. 4.5 yards per attempt. So this is going to be the thing right now. Another good thing with Tennessee is their QB pressure is elite. Also, they got a great D line. You pressured A&M on 64% of their dropbacks. So what is it gonna take to beat Bama? You have to come correct on every asset of the game, special teams, defense, and offense. And on not only that, you got to get your best version of Joe Milton. Because if you're going through stat wise, Milton has yet to throw over 60% in any games this season. And at the same time, they are second to last in explosive plays this season. They don't get any big plays out of this offense whatsoever. They just kind of run, lull you to sleep and get down the field. You need the offense to show up. Another big stat right now is Tennessee has lost 27 straight road games versus AP top 15 teams. 27 straight. And another thing with that right now is when you go back and look at Tennessee, and I was checking out their schedule, you only played one road game this entire season. So your team really is not road tested. The only other test you had was you went to Florida where you laid an egg at right now. So how cranked up do you think Tuscaloosa is going to be after what happened last season? These fans are going to be in there early. They're going to be loud, and this defense for Bama is going to be cranked up. Now, going over to the Bama side, you have to get more balanced on offense. You got to get the play call in there. You got to be able to run the ball this week against Tennessee. Tennessee's D-line is great. I'll give them that. They have a great D-line. You have to be able to run the ball. You can't put this entire game on Jalen Milroe's shoulders right now. If you can shut down the run on defense for Bama and make Joe Milton have to beat you, that's your key to the game right now for Bama. Because Milton has no one on Tennessee's wide receiving core has over their receiving yards are very low right now. No game have they gone over 200 yards passing right now. Also, but on the flip side of that, the O-line has to protect Milroe right now. For the main fact of their D-line is fourth in sacks, but Bama's O-line in sacks allowed is last in the country. You rank last. That's not it. But I tell you what, with that being, A&M, who's number one in the country in getting sacks, you went into that game and won that game also.
Yeah.
So with that being said, on those two, the two keys are you got to prevent big plays from Jalen Milroe, who's right now one of the top people in the country. He's completing over 60% of his passes of 20 yards or more. All four of his interceptions have been when he's passed it for 20 yards or less. You gotta get the big plays, which is crazy to say. That's a crazy stat. Also, so my thing right now, I gotta go with something I've said today numerous times. Bama at home is going to be the key to this game against Tennessee. I don't see Tennessee going on the road and winning this game against Bama. And I think it's still going to be a close one. I think you're going to get probably the exact same game that you got last week between Tennessee and A&M, but I think this week is going to be reversed from the same fact of you're at home. Bama's at home.
So, let me add this. You go back and look at last year's game. The pig was flying all over the yard. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Bryce had a great game. Hooker had a great game. The receivers, they're great game. This is going to be a completely different game. This game is going to look – we're going to get into the third quarter of this game, and we're going to be scratching our heads. Both teams, fan base, are going to be scratching their heads trying to figure out what's going on. It's going to be an ugly, sloppy game. A lot of running going on. Drew, you said it, between the tackles, This is where this game's gonna be won. The one thing I struggle with Alabama is they have a really good running game. I just don't see Tommy Rees committed to it enough. You know, right. We get in these positions to where we're 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3, and you got Jalen Milroe putting the ball in the air out of shotgun. And you got this running game back here. You know, now I know the offensive line is still trying to figure some things out, but I have seen Roydell Williams and these running backs for Alabama find creases and break off 10, 12, 14-yard runs pretty much at will. I just don't know why he don't stick with it. The only way he's going to have a chance to win this game is if he sticks with the run. Somebody's defensive line and linebacking core front is going to get very, very tired, very, very exhausted in this game if these offensive coordinators do it right. You can't put the ball in either one of these quarterbacks' hands to try to go and win it. It's going to be sloppy. I can't wait to see it. It's just going to not the type of game we're used to seeing from either one of these teams. It might even look boring at times. You know, again, I said Tennessee, I think the run game is just going to be a little too much. Not that Bama's run game is not good enough. I just don't trust them to stick with it consistently enough to actually wear Tennessee down and win. I don't have confidence in Tommy Rees right now and the plays he's calling with the talent that he has. It's going to be an ugly game.
I'm right there with you. I don't think this game is going to be a high-scoring game at all. I think it's going to be right there, maybe in the early, like low 20s, yep. Maybe let's score to get a team into the 30s, maybe something like that. But at the end of the day, I think that the preparation for this game is going to be so key. The thing about Tennessee is it kind of like they have to hype themselves back up for this game, kind of like it was last year, in my opinion. Just because of how their season has gone so far, you really don't have the confidence like you did last year in Tennessee. Hendon Hooker, Jalen Hyde not coming back to this game. They're not going to be on field for Bama. So we don't have to get worried about a person putting up 5 touchdowns on us on 60-yard plays every single snap. So I think that aspect of the game is going to be something that Alabama's going to have more confidence in. But this is a rare moment for Alabama in the aspects of having a revenge game against a Tennessee Volunteers team. And it being at home, I think this is everything. This is the full recipe for Alabama to have their coming out party and put it all together. We've seen them have great pieces here, great pieces there in certain games. This is the game to put it all together. You're going to be at home. I truly think if they can dominate the offensive line for Bama, lower the penalty rate, they're going to overall overpower Tennessee in a 4-quarter matchup. I just don't see Tennessee having that dog in them like they did last year in this type of game right here. And I see Bama have that dog in them in certain moments. I see Jalen Milroe have that dog in him. He's come out to the media and said, we don't care about that sack total. They can get 10 sacks in this game right here. We don't care about that. They're going to have to stop us getting out the end zone. Now, sacks can be the biggest thing to stop from getting in the end zone. So I think you do have to have a preparation in that aspect of it is. But I truly believe if you handle the left tackle position, if you handle that position, the sack total is not going to be as big as everybody thinks it's going to be. Tennessee's going to run some crazy stunts. They're going to run some crazy blitzes to get Jalen Milroe uncomfortable. But I truly think if they can get the ball out of his hands fast, move the pocket a little bit with Jalen Milroe, where he's not just sitting as a stationary target, and have him in efficient run call plays for him, this game can be a totally different aspect for Alabama. I think truly you depend on the run game, but you have to include Milroe in this run game this week. Last week against Arkansas, we really didn't see him run like that, like I thought we would. But to me, it was like the last piece to say, hey, we're going to try a couple pieces in here to get ready for our last season push. You saw Jamarian Miller in the backfield. You saw Justin Hayes in the backfield. You saw Ja'Cory Brooks trying to catch passes, like you said, throughout this season. That's not something you saw consistent this season. This was their last week against Arkansas to get their full team in preparation for this week right here. And I think Bama is fully capable of actually taking command of this game and winning it convincingly. Will it happen, or will they trip over themselves? I don't know yet, but I truly believe that it can happen. And I think if Nick Saban is the guy that we all believe he is, if he can turn water into wine, this will be the team, and this is the moment that we actually see it come together. And I think it's going to be convincing win for Alabama going forward. I think it's going to be something that light the rest of the season on fire. I think it is something that's going to light the rest of the season on fire, and you're going to see them excel after this game. Can it turn disastrous for Bama? Yes, it can, but I don't think Tennessee is capable of making that happen. The only way I see that happening is if Bama starts tripping over themselves, kind of like they did last year, in the aspects of penalties, stupid plays, and turnovers. If we can control those three aspects of it and still dominate the offensive line, Bama is going to walk away with this game because Tennessee is not the Tennessee from last year. Sean, at this point, I'm going to go ahead and tell you, go ahead and put that Roll Tide hat back on because we're going to walk out of this one in a safe environment. So we're going to be all right with this one right here. Vol fans, if y'all are out there, get in the comment section because this is one of the biggest rivalries in college football right now. And it's going to be a huge Saturday game for us. So we want to hear your comments before the game kicks off. And we want to see what y'all opinions are going to be. But to me, I don't think Tennessee has the full team anymore to get it done.
Man, look, I'm excited about the comments too, right? Vol fans, like Drew said, y'all been talking, y'all been chirping. Hey, we're gonna chirp right there with you now. Hey, let's get it on. I put the hat back on. I'm sticking with my pick, but I'm hoping that Bama can pull this game off. I really am. I'm hoping for the best, man. Hoping for the best. Come on, Milrow. Just play a complete game.
Yes, sir. We need it.
Yep.